Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the Kitaholic Kits using the very lovely May kits. So I just showed you the photos there super quickly. I've printed them on my Canon selfie. I used an app on my phone called PhotoGrid. It's free, and I've chosen, I've got 5 photos for this layout. I've chosen to feature one is a large one, and then I've put a strip of 4 smaller ones, and those 4 smaller ones kind of I basically tell the story leading up to that large one that I've got in focus, which is Edison with chocolate icing all over her face. Yeah, so this is kind of a good way for well, as an option, if you've got lots of photos of an event or something and you can't quite decide, but you've got one that's kind of your favourite, but you don't want to completely dominate the layout with photos, print one large one for your focal and then a bunch of smaller ones that kind of add to the story for your layout, and then that gives you still the opportunity to really decorate and go crazy with embellishments and pattern paper and stuff on the background. So okay, what am I doing? I'm using this gorgeous floral cluster cut file. It's one of the exclusives for this month from Kitaholic Kits. It does come with a large title that says Mother's Day, I think. Yes, it does. And I skipped the Mother's Day bit and just used the floral cluster and kind of enlarged it a bit. I wanted it to be a really nice large feature on the page. So I'm just going ahead and backing it. What I've done is flipped it over so it's upside down, turned my pattern paper upside down, that you can see there, and traced around the inside and then just cut slightly outside. I think backing cut files is really, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It really depends on the cut files, and more often than not when I have tiny little pieces I will just cut a random size bit that I know is big enough to cover it, glue it on and then trim the excess off. But for these ones where there are slightly larger pieces, and I know that it's probably a bit more economical with my paper, I will flip it over and trace it. So it really depends on the cut file and how you want to back it. That makes, okay, I guess the most sense on how you choose to back it. So I've got this heart. This was from my first layout that I did with Kitaholic Kits, and I wanted to use this heart. It's just a random heart shape that I cut out. You don't really need anything special to cut a heart. You could actually even do it by hand. And I didn't make it on my first layout. I didn't want to waste it, so I ended up bringing it on this one. And you would have seen from my choices for pattern paper on the background, I had the black and white stripe pattern paper was really striking, and it would have looked beautiful with this layout. And the reason I guess I was drawn to it is because Eddie's wearing a black and white striped dress. But when I put the photo on, the photo got lost because there's black and white stripe on the background and then there's black and white stripe in the photo. So they were too cohesive on the page. So I didn't want my photos to get lost. So I went with this light mint green, which was beautiful. It's still, the photo stands out. It still combines with everything beautifully on the page. But that was kind of my reasoning for choosing that pattern paper. So I'm going to go through now and back this large main photo with a few layers of pattern papers from these are from the Pocket Page kit. I'm going to bring in some black and this floral. I'm just trying to find the right side. And a last layer with, I think this is my last layer, with this lovely green paisley design. And I did finish backing my cut file. That's just kind of propped to the right of the page. And my photo is going to fit nicely in that little spot, empty spot of that cut file. And I can start to kind of go through my embellishments now. I have my photos to the left. They were kind of covering up a funny bit on the larger photo. I do end up pulling them down to the left. They kind of sit there a little bit more comfortably, and when I hung them off the edge of the other photo, they just nestled a bit more nicely, I guess, with the cluster that I had going on. You'll see as I kind of go on, I pop a frame down there and they just kind of sit a little bit better. They don't feel so out of place. You can see I'm thinking it doesn't quite look right there, so I pop it down there, and I like that because it allows me to bring some embellishments into that empty spot below the photo. There we go, that's what I was trying to say. Okay, I did bring a little black banner up that top right hand side. I like the idea of bringing black in because, again, Eddie's got black on her dress, so we're bringing colours in from the photo, but it's not, there's not so much of it that the photo's getting lost. Okay, I'm just looking at the Amy 10 die cut pieces. I don't think I'm going to get these open. Maybe on my last layer. I've done 3 already, so we'll see. Maybe. There's just so much to go through. I am going to use some of the a lot of the florals, because I mean, we've got a floral cut file. Why wouldn't I want to use flowers on the layout? So I've got a die cut piece up there. I'm going to bring in this yellow frame. I wanted to pop a yellow. I wanted a bit of a pop of everything, really, on this page. So I'm just kind of continuing, like I said, to sift through everything on the page, trying everything. Another little tag up there. We've got 3 tags layered up there, just for colour, really, and to break up a bit of that pattern paper that's behind the photo. A little butterfly, and I'm going to cut off this pink one that's on this little label here. Just fussy cut that out super quickly. Maybe not that quickly. There we go. And I do end up cutting off their little antenna because they just look a little bit odd to me, so I just chop them off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't ruin the butterflies at all. But yeah, I just didn't quite like them, so I've cut them off. And now I'm just thinking what else I can use. I'm thinking I need something for my title. So I have a quick look through the sticker book, and I know that there was a bunch of phrases in there that I could possibly use for a title, but I'm going to grab some of these floral stickers that are on the sticker book and just pull in a few. So we've got kind of 3 main clusters going on. I like to do 3s and 5s. Like I said, I always say odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye, which they are. Yep. We're going to do a few of these leaves. I'm just going to cut them up and kind of layer them around the place as well. I'm going to tuck some under this cut file, which I really like the look of. It's bringing some colour onto that white cardstock and giving a bit of definition, like between the cut file and the white cardstock background. It's like letting you know that that cut file is dimensional, I guess. I'm going to layer a few little banners up underneath this floral up here with that black one, and just kind of continue to look through the sticker sheets as well. I'm going to bring off more flowers because there is an absolute ton of them. Pop them up on some adhesive foam squares, layer that up there. I'm really trying to bring some dimension into my clusters now. Some more little green leaves, tuck that up there. Some more flowers, smaller ones this time, just kind of tucking them in around my layers. Adding some to this cluster at the left, and I'm going to scatter a few little ones around the outside of that floral cut file as well. And I'm going to pop this one up on some foam. Just really spreading that colour out around the page. Another little yellow one. I'm just trying to maneuver it under my cut file. And then I found the sticker that says this happened, and that was perfect for my photo. With Eddie with the chocolate icing all over her face. She was helping me. We'd baked the cake and we were making icing, and Eddie was helping me mix it. So she, of course, had to taste test it. So that's hence the chocolate icing all over her face. Okay, I'm super happy with everything that I've got going on. So I'm going to start to glue everything down. And I'm going to start with my bottom layers first, and I normally do, and I've just glued all those tags together and then pop them back as one. I'm trying really hard not to move anything, because usually if I move it, I can never get it back in the spot that I want. So, okay, just continuing to glue everything down, popping glue between those labels and my photo, and popping my photo in place. Excuse me, I've got a big frog in my throat today. We're in autumn at the moment now here, and it's really changed to a really chill in the air. The nights are extremely cold for autumn, I think, and we've had a couple of really cold days as well. I've been out rugged up in my scarf and beanie and gloves and jacket because it's just been freezing. It's felt like winter. So I dread to think what winter is going to be like. But then again, in saying that, we are moving very soon, and we're moving to a part of New Zealand that is known to be very, very warm. So I'm hoping winter will be a lot more milder there. I'm not looking forward to the summer though, because it is hot. It's like Australia with their temperatures, and I don't like the heat. I don't like the cold either. I just like being in the middle. So we'll see. Never mind. Okay, so I've glued everything down, and I grabbed the little enamel dots from Freckled Fawn that were in the kit, and I thought that they would be really nice to kind of pop in the centre of a few of the flowers, and I ended up placing them on these little berries as well that's on the cut file, and I'm just popping a little bit of glue behind them to make sure that they stay. I really like the detail that they add to that cut file, so just a few, not too many. Of course, some more flowers onto the page. I'm just pulling them off, adding some layers, just supporting that flower off that photo with a little bit of foam. And I'm going to trim off the excess of that die cut piece that was hanging off the page. And I'm going to go brave for this layout. I'm going to bring out my black Liquitex acrylic ink, which is super scary. I tried to be very, very careful. I did have to clean it off though, because my Highly Swap colour shine is spilt all through the container that I keep these, which really annoyed me. It made it super sticky, but it came off with a baby wipe, so that's okay. So just a few splatters of that really fine little ones. I don't want huge ones that are going to kind of ruin the soft look of the page, but I think that the pops of black go really nice around the page. So I'm just adding a few of them, just trickling out from those clusters, and then after that I think that's pretty much it for my layout. So I hope you enjoyed the process. If you want to check out the kits or the shop, the link is in the description box below. But until next time, bye guys.